Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. It's our day 3, that is streak 3 for learning about JavaScript DOM. In this video, we will learn about how to access an HTML element by using getElementById of document API. We have discussed about DOM and what is the structure for a DOM tree in my previous video. Please watch before continuing this. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. Here we are using a script tag which is already embedded in my HTML, and this index.js is binded with this HTML. Whatever we are writing in this index.html, that will be executed over this HTML content. Now let me create an ID for this element. Let me name it as heading. Now what I want to do, just I want to access this h1 tag in my index.js by using this ID. So as we know, we have a document API. On that API we have a inbuilt method called as element by id, get element by id, and it will take one element ID. That element ID is equivalent to this heading. Let me copy this heading and pass here, and let me give semicolon. Let me save this and assign this to some element is equal to document.getElementById, and let me console this console.log of element. So as per our expectation, get element by id, that defines getting an element with this particular id called as heading and assigning to this element and rendering in the console. This script tag is on the first line, so it will be executing this particular 1 2 3 lines of that JavaScript file. Let me go to the browser. Let me reload here. So if you see here, we got null. Now let's understand why we are getting null in this JavaScript file. As we know, the JavaScript or HTML content will execute a line by line tags. That means head tag, then script tag. Whenever it comes to the script tag, it will try to launch this index.js file. Now this index.js will be loaded, and whenever it is loaded, it is trying to get this element with this id. But the problem here is, before loading this body, that means before loading this h1 tag, we are trying to access it in my index.js. So that is the reason it is not able to find this element and it is giving null. So how we can resolve this? Just make this script usage after the body content. Let me save here. Now first h1 will be loaded into our DOM, and then our script file will try to access this heading element by using getElementById. And let me go here, clear it off, reload. If you see here, we got that heading with an ID and accessing the HTML element. And also here we will be getting confused when to use our script tag and where to use our script tag. So in this case, we have written inside this head, and instead of moving that script tag to the bottom of our body, instead we can use a keyword called as differ. So I have explained about the differ keyword in one of my video. I'll provide the link in the description. Please watch before continuing this. So here we can use differ keyword. So differ keyword, what it does is it will load the script after your body and after all the HTML elements are loaded into my DOM. So let me go back to the browser, reload. Now you can see the same heading, but this time we are using the script tag on the top with the differ keyword. So in this case, it will try to load this index.js as the last priority. That means after loading all the DOM elements. Now we are using differ, and we'll be using the same script tag in the upcoming videos. Here, one more scenario which we need to discuss about getElementById is, so let me use the same ID, but this time let me use something like heading tag 2. Let me save this, and here we are using the same heading ID. And now whenever we are calling this get element by id, which one will be returned, the first one or the second one or both? First thing, we need to understand the definition or the verbal pronunciation of this get element by id. If you see here, we have get element, that means it is a singular, and you will be getting only one particular element from this method. And also by id means uniqueness. Whenever JavaScript sees an id, it will think like id is always unique. Whenever it finds the first occurrence of this element, then that will be returned back, and it will not continuing for the search in the next upcoming lines. That means the execution of JavaScript will continue till 8, and it found this id, and later it will not bother about the remaining line of statements, and it will return this element to our JavaScript. Let me go back, clear it off, and reload. If you see here, we got accessing the HTML, only one tag we got. And also let me place here on the top. Now this time it will find this head 1 as the first priority, then it will be giving heading tag 2. Let me go back, clear it off and reload. If you see here, we got heading tag 2. This implies a get element by id will target for the first occurrence of this id and it will return that element. And now the question is how we will be using two or more elements. We have different types of document methods. We'll be coming across different type of strategies and the methods which are used over the document, and we'll try to resolve them in the upcoming video. In the upcoming video, we'll try to access these two elements by another methods of document. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.